All right, let's talk about something your body does every single day. An absolutely incredible journey that turns the food you eat into the fuel you need to live. We're going to dive into this amazing internal factory, your digestive system.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? You take a bite of a sandwich, and then what? Well, it's a fascinating story of mechanics, chemistry, and some seriously clever biology. So let's find out where that food actually goes. So this is the map of our journey, the gastrointestinal system. It looks complicated, right? But at its heart, it's basically one long, winding tube. And get this, in an adult, it's about 30 feet long. Along this tube are several key stops, and each one has a very specific job to do. We're going to follow the path of food through this entire system, from the very beginning to the very end. Okay, but before we start that journey, we need to understand the mission. What's the whole point of this system? Well, the entire process can be broken down into 4 essential functions that control everything. First up, ingestion. That's the easy part, just taking food in. Next is digestion, which is all about breaking down those big food molecules. Then, the super important step, absorption. This is where your body soaks up all those valuable nutrients. And finally, elimination, which is, well, getting rid of whatever's left over. Sounds simple, right? Let's see how it actually all works. Our journey begins right here, at the very first stop, the gateway to your gut. The second food passes your lips, the entire system kicks into gear. Now, what's really cool is that 2 kinds of digestion start happening at the exact same time, right in your mouth. You've got mechanical digestion. That's your teeth, chewing and grinding everything into smaller, manageable pieces. But at the same time, chemical digestion begins. Your saliva isn't just water, it's full of enzymes that start breaking down things like carbohydrates immediately. So after all that chewing and mixing with saliva, your tongue gets to work and cleverly molds the food into this neat little package. It's called a bolus. This is the first official form your food takes as it gets ready to travel deeper into your body. And this is where the body's engineering gets really smart. As you swallow, a little flap called the epiglottis snaps shut over your windpipe, a built-in safety feature to stop you from choking. Then, these powerful wave-like muscle contractions called peristalsis take over. It's like a muscular wave pushing that bolus down the esophagus right towards the stomach. Next stop on our tour brings us to a major processing center. Welcome to the stomach, a highly acidic environment designed for some serious deconstruction. And just to give you some perspective on this thing, the average adult stomach can hold about 2 liters of food and liquid. That's the size of a large soda bottle. It's basically a muscular, super expandable bag. So once that bolus arrives, it gets mixed with some really potent gastric juices. We're talking hydrochloric acid and enzymes. The stomach churns and mashes everything together, turning the solid food into this semi-liquid acidic paste called chyme. You can almost think of the stomach as a biological cement mixer. Now, this whole process is controlled by these super important muscular valves called sphincters. At the top, you have the lower esophageal sphincter, which closes tightly to prevent all that acid from splashing back up and causing heartburn. Then at the bottom, the pyloric sphincter acts like a bouncer, only letting small amounts of chyme out into the next stage, nice and slow. And that next stage? Oh, it's the main event. We have now arrived at the small intestine, the true powerhouse of the whole operation. This is where most of the magic happens. The small intestine isn't just one long tube, though. It's actually made of 3 different sections, and each one has a specialized job. First, the chyme travels through the duodenum. Then it hits the jejunum, and finally, it passes through the ileum. So how do you remember that order? Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Here's a great little mnemonic for you. Just think, digestive juices intake. D-J-I. Easy, right? So, let's break down what each part does. First, in the duodenum, that acidic chyme gets mixed with bile from your liver and powerful enzymes from your pancreas. This neutralizes the acid and really gets to work on breaking down fats. Next up, the jejunum. This is where most of the heavy lifting for absorption happens. Its walls are lined with millions of these tiny, finger-like things called villi. It's like a dense, shaggy carpet designed to create a massive surface area for soaking up all the good stuff. And finally, the ileum is like the cleanup crew, absorbing key leftover nutrients like vitamin B12, bile salts, and certain vitamins. All right, so after the small intestine has squeezed out all the useful nutrients, whatever is left over moves on to the final major organ in the digestive tract. And that is the large intestine, also known as the colon. Now, its main job isn't about nutrients. It's all about absorbing water and electrolytes from the remaining indigestible material. This waste travels up the ascending colon, across the transverse colon, and then down the descending colon. And yep, you guessed it, we've got another fantastic mnemonic to help you lock this in. Just remember, ascending absorbs the water, transverse transports the solidifying waste, and descending drives it down toward the exit. So, we followed the physical journey of the food, right? But you might be wondering, who's running the show? Who's coordinating this whole incredibly complex operation? Well, let's meet the unseen chemical crew working tirelessly behind the scenes.
This table shows some of the key players, and it's basically an intricate chemical symphony. You have hormones that act like messengers. Gastrin, for example, tells the stomach, hey, make more acid. Then CCK and secretin signal the pancreas and gallbladder, okay guys, time to release your digestive juices. Then you've got other crucial players. Bile, which comes from the liver, is essential for breaking down fats. And of course, from the pancreas, you have insulin and glucagon, which are the absolute masters of managing your body's energy.
And let's just focus on these two for a second because their balancing act is fascinating. Think of insulin as the storage manager. After you eat, it tells your cells to take up sugar from the blood and store it for later, which lowers your blood sugar. Glucagon is the release manager. It does the exact opposite, telling your liver to release that stored sugar back into the blood when you need a boost of energy. They are in a constant dance to keep your body perfectly fueled. So there you have it, from a simple bite of food to this incredibly complex series of mechanical and chemical events. That's the journey. Your digestive system is a finely tuned, 30-foot-long factory that's working for you 24/7. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. Knowing everything that goes on in there, what kind of fuel are you going to choose to give it?